If there's one thing France is famous for, it's food. Chris and I recently spent a weekend in Paris and we have some foodie recommendations to share with you. It can be overwhelming when visiting a new city to choose somewhere to eat. In this video, we're taking you off the beaten path to discover 4 secret restaurants that locals love but tourists rarely find. First up, our favourite lunch spot, Les Cinq Marches. We stumbled across this beautiful cafe following a busy morning exploring the winding streets of Montmartre. I was keen not to eat among the bustle of tourists, as often in super touristy areas I find that the quality isn't as good and the price can be inflated. So after visiting Rue de l'Abreuvoir, made even more famous by Emily in Paris, we took a few turns onto quieter streets and they led us to Les Cinq Marches. This cafe had a tiny menu. We had the choice of 2 juices, we chose orange, carrot and ginger, and 2 sandwiches, pulled pork with pickles, which we both chose, or a vegetarian option. The sandwich was served in a brioche bun with homemade chips. Les Cinq Marches change their menu regularly, everything is homemade and they cook with seasonal ingredients. We both gave this meal 10 out of 10. Our juice was delicious, the food was super fresh and very well cooked. The service was fantastic and our table on their terrace was so peaceful that we didn't want to leave. So, of course, we ordered a cake, a big piece of carrot cake. Again, totally delicious, I would highly recommend. We loved this cafe as an escape from the busy streets of Paris. I've popped a link in the description to their website for you to check out. Second on our list is the perfect restaurant to book for dinner following a busy day exploring Paris. There is so much to do and see in Paris. Every time you turn a corner, you're faced with another beautiful building or monument, and one of my favourite things to do is just walk around taking it all in. But this does build up an appetite. You may have heard of le Relais de l'Entrecôte, a viral steak frite restaurant with a set menu serving only salad, steak and fries. There are 4 locations in Paris, and although I'm sure they're all amazing, we were put off by the fact that you often have to queue for upwards of an hour before you're seated. I really wanted us to have this experience in Paris, however, and following a quick Google discovered l'Atelier l'Entrecôte et Volaille, which offers a very similar experience but also takes reservations. I loved the atmosphere in this restaurant. It's a typical French brasserie with white tablecloths and high ceilings. The only choice on the menu is between steak and chicken. We both chose steak and asked for it to be cooked medium rare. The first course then arrived very quickly, a walnut salad served with a basket of bread. Honestly, this is my dream starter. I love salad and it was a lovely fresh way to start the meal. French baguette is also my favourite. As soon as we'd finished, it was whisked away and after a quick break, our steak was served. It was perfectly cooked, the meat was extremely tender, the fries were delicious and the secret house sauce brought the meal together perfectly. But wait for the best part. As soon as we'd finished eating, they served us a second helping. Yes, we got to eat it all over again and there was so much food. This was Chris's favourite meal of our trip and we both agreed that the second helping was genius. We absolutely loved the house sauce, it really did make the meal special. And there was something lovely about not having to choose what I wanted to eat, especially after a very busy day exploring Paris. We were also pleasantly surprised by the prices on the wine list. We spent €18 on a very nice bottle of wine, and considering we were paying €15 per cocktail elsewhere, this seemed like a bargain. Of course, we opted to share a dessert, and I chose a chocolate cake which was dreamy. This is definitely a great way to enjoy the atmosphere of Le Relais without waiting in the queue or compromising on quality. I've popped the booking link in the description for you to check out. Next up, we're recommending an Italian restaurant. During our stay in Paris, Chris ran the Paris 10K. The night before a race, he usually likes to eat pasta, so I used Google Maps to find somewhere nice to eat. That afternoon we planned to visit the Jardin de Luxembourg, so I wanted to eat nearby and it all worked out perfectly because we found Marcello, an amazing pasta restaurant tucked just off Rue Mabillon. The first thing to mention is that we had the best service in all of Paris at this restaurant. Our waiter was fantastic and so helpful, giving recommendations and making jokes about Chris filming his meal. We sat outside in their beautiful courtyard terrace. The decor was stunning and the atmosphere had a real buzz. Our waiter explained to us that the menu regularly changes to include lots of seasonal ingredients and that the pasta is all made fresh in-house. And you could tell because the flavours were amazing. We chose to share a seasonal salad to start, and it was served with a bread basket. The salad was delicious and packed full of so many tasty things: artichoke, pistachios, parmesan, lemon, the list goes on. It was perfection. For our main course, although it wasn't a competition, I definitely won. Chris chose meatballs in a tomato sauce, which was lovely, and I gave the waiter 2 options and asked him to choose the best. He told me to go for the ravioli with lemon, ricotta and truffle cream, explaining that the menu changes weekly, but this is the only one dish that stays full time. Honestly, it was heavenly, and Chris agreed that my meal won the prize. The pasta was beautiful and both meals were great. We thoroughly enjoyed them. At this point, I was so full, but Chris had room for dessert. He ordered a huge slab of tiramisu, which of course I ate half of. We would definitely recommend this to round off your meal. I loved my meal at Marcello. The website link is in the description. Please let me know if you go. My final recommendation is a little bit niche, but if you're visiting the Louvre, it's a must. The Louvre is a museum and art gallery like no other and definitely worth a visit if you're in Paris, but be warned, you can easily spend a whole day here, so plan your trip. There are lots of options for food in the Louvre, but my favourite place to eat is Angelina's, but only on the terrace. The original Angelina's is on Rue de Rivoli and it's famous for its hot chocolate, but I like to visit the branch inside of the Louvre for lunch with a view. There are only 10 tables on their terrace and we arrived early to make sure we got one. The terrace opened at 11:30 am and we were in the queue at 11:15. It's definitely worth the wait, and the view of the pyramid, the statues and also the Eiffel Tower is wonderful. I love eating here as it feels so exclusive and transports you back in time to when the building was used as a royal residence. I felt like the Queen of France. As it was still early, we both ordered a coffee. Chris chose to eat eggs Benedict served on a croissant, and I went for my favourite French classic, French onion soup. Honestly, all so delicious. This lunch was a little bit pricey, coming in at €50, but definitely worth it for the view, and I would pay again to have the same experience. Again, the link is in the description if you'd like to check it out. There are so many incredible places to eat in Paris, and we have more recommendations to share with you soon, but these are 4 hidden gems we hope you'll love. Thank you for watching this video. We are a new channel and would love your feedback in the comments. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and if you're off to Paris, have the best time. Bon voyage!